We will build machine learning API and deploy it with the help of RayServe. And this is the high level architecture which we will be following in this notebook. So let's start. So the first step, we need to import all the required packages which we will need during the model deployment process. So here I am deploying Ray and the RayServe and all the packages which we would need at the time of machine learning deployment. Okay, and after importing it, so let's import it. And now we'll check the Python version. So it's 3.7.6, so which is correct. And that's what we had created at the time of Python virtual environment creation. Next, we will check all the package version. So if we'll just compare this with the version which we had installed, it's exactly the same. Next step, we need to define some temporary path where we can download all the model artifacts from AWS S3, right? So, and that's what I am defining it here. As we have 4 different type of model artifacts, so that's why I have defined it for different objects. And here I have defined all the path location where we will be downloading all the artifacts. Then next we need to create machine learning API, and RayServe has special structure for defining the machine learning API. So you need to define machine learning API in the form of class. So here I am defining the name of my machine learning API is lone default v1. So that's the name I have defined. And then you need to define one init function, and next we need to define one call function. So that's the prerequisite for any RayServe deployment API. And the other things which I have added in this class is about all the machine learning related activities. So we'll see what are those functions. So here, as a part of init function, I have simply defined all the processes required for downloading the model artifacts from my AWS S3. As we have seen during training process, we have uploaded all the model artifacts in AWS S3, and it's stored within lone default classifier. Okay, and here I have decision tree and random forest, 2 separate folder where we have stored all different type of artifacts. So here you can see that we have 4 different type of artifacts, and that's what exactly we are doing it here. So here I haven't defined the bucket name or all the folders name within this file. So instead what I have done, I have defined all those configuration within JSON file, where I have defined the bucket name, which is machine learning serving, and the bucket key ID for decision tree, so which is a combination of my folder, right? So it's stored within lone default, and under lone default classifier we have decision tree, right? That's what we have seen it here, lone default classifier, and within that we have decision tree, and that's what we have configured it here, right? And that is the outcome of that activity. It will read the JSON file, and it will pull the bucket name and bucket key ID for decision tree, and then further we will use these values for downloading model artifacts. And next step, I am connecting it to S3, and now we are downloading it from AWS S3, and it would be stored under temporary directory. So whatever we have created here. Okay. And after that, we will load the model artifacts. So here I am simply loading all the model artifacts so that we can use it within my ML API, because it would be loaded only once, and that's what we have defined this as a part of init function. So whenever my lone default API would be initiated, all the model artifacts would be loaded in memory, and for any further request, it will not perform this download activity, and it will take my model artifacts from memory and will perform the prediction. And that's what we are doing it here. We are simply reading the model artifacts from the downloaded copy which we have downloaded locally within our system. So once that gets completed, next we need to write the required functionality for machine learning API. Okay, so and here we are simply parsing the HTTP request which we have received as a part of input, and this request is nothing but it's a Flask object. And using this JSON, we are simply taking the JSON content from the request object. Okay, and next we are simply performing some additional activity to make sure that my ML API is robust to different type of request layout. So if due to some reason the caller pass the layout in a dictionary format, then here we are simply taking that dictionary layout and converting it to the JSON format. Okay, so that's the purpose of adding this to statement. And next we are simply reading that JSON layout and transposing it to make it compatible with the data frame API. So what it means, I will just show you one example. So here we are simply reading one JSON which contains two fields. First one is name and the second one is location. And if we run this statement, you'll find that name and location appears in the form of index. But we need to transpose it. So once you'll perform the transpose, it will appear in this format. And that's the exact format my machine learning API is expecting. Okay, so that's the purpose of adding this statement. And next we have some few set of activities we need to perform before making prediction against the new data. And all these steps are exactly similar to what we had done as a part of training and evaluation pipeline. Okay, so I will show you what we have done as a part of training and evaluation pipeline that will help you in understanding what exact step we need as a part of inference pipeline. So here we are performing a feature engineering step where we are creating some additional features based on date and based on account. And from training pipeline, I have taken these two functions. Okay, if you just see, and I have added these two statements here. Right? So there are better way in terms of managing the common component. You can take these functions and add it to different class object, and probably you can use that class in both training and inference pipeline. But here I have taken that function just for convenience. Okay, just to showcase how we can take the same set of functionality from training pipeline and apply at the time of inference. Okay, so these two functions are exactly same to what we had done as a part of model training. And using those functions, we are generating some additional features. Right, so that's the steps which I have added here. We are performing some feature engineering steps using those two functions. So date-based feature and account-based features. And that's what I have done here. Okay, date-based feature, account-based features. And after that, we need to take the appropriate column, because all the columns are not important, and we need to only extract the training features, and those features would also be used at the time of inference. So that's what I have done as a part of next step. And then after that, we need to perform a label encoding. Okay, so for label encoding, we would take the label encoder which we have trained based on training data, and we'll apply the same label encoder at the time of inference. So that's what exactly we have done here. And then next step, we are imputing it with all the null values. If we'll get any null value, then we'll replace that by -1. And that's what we have done as a part of next step. and then we are performing training pipeline. So that's the way we need to make sure that whatever steps we had done as a part of training pipeline, the same set of steps should be executed at the time of inference. So once we are done with all the preparation step, we will take the transform data and we'll make a prediction. Okay, and here we are just taking the prediction probability of lone default, so that's why I'm taking index 1, and once we'll get the probability value, we'll populate the response layout. So here we are simply sending the status code, which is 200, and prediction as a probability, and I'm giving the version name as v1. Okay, so that completes the creation of ML API, and now we'll see how we can take that ML API and we'll deploy and use it with the help of RayServe at the time of inference. So the next step, we need to initialize the Ray cluster, right? So if you look this diagram, the RayServe runs on top of Ray cluster. So before running the RayServe instance, we need to initialize the Ray cluster. So Ray cluster, at this time we are using local machine as a Ray cluster. It will create a single node Ray cluster, and within that single node Ray cluster, we would be deploying our machine learning API with the help of RayServe. But in practice, RayServe could be within your AWS machine, AWS cloud, or it could be within Azure or Google Cloud. So wherever you want to create that cluster, you can create it. RayServe provides those functionality for launching cloud cluster automatically. Okay, so that's what we are exactly doing it here, Ray init. So once you'll perform this activity, it will provide you the cluster information in this manner. Okay, coming down, once Ray cluster is up and running, then we can create a serve instance, RayServe instance, with the help of serve.start. So it will start my RayServe instance within my cluster. That's the purpose of adding this statement. Okay, and after creating the service instance, we need to create backend. So backend in this case is my lone default API, which will run my decision tree model. That's the backend we have, and that's what exactly we are doing it here. We are giving the name of that backend API as lone v1, and here I am giving the name of the class of the backend which we have just defined. So lone default 1. Okay, and here as a part of next set of parameters, we are just simply passing all the parameters to my lone default v1. So you can see that we are passing model name, encoder name, feature name, and categorical feature, cat underscore feature, and we will be taking all those values as a part of init function. Okay, because whenever we'll create a backend, it will initialize this class, and during the initialization it will run this function. It will download all the model artifacts and will store it in the memory for further inference, and that's what exactly this step will do, create backend. So once we would be able to create backend, we need to create an endpoint. So it's very easy to define the endpoint with the help of RayServe. So we will just use a serve instance and create endpoint, and I'm giving the name of the endpoint as sklearn lone default, and I'm attaching that endpoint with my backend lone v1, and here I'm giving the endpoint name, right? So this is the endpoint which we are providing to my lone default API, right? So if we'll just look this diagram, so it will simply create a backend like this, and my endpoint will attach this route to my backend API. So in this manner, so this API would be recognized whenever my endpoint will contain this route function in the URL path. Right? So it's a normal way of creating any endpoint, but RayServe provides a very easy way of defining your endpoint configuration so that consumer can initiate any request to invoke the ML API. Okay, and all these backend functionality, create backend and create endpoint, is created by my controller component. So that's the purpose of controller. So controller will allow us to create backend and the endpoint. So once this is done, so we'll simply run this step. We'll run it, and it will create a Ray instance, Ray cluster, and now we'll run it, and this will create backend. Okay, so before that we need to run this. Okay, and now we'll run it. Okay, it's already started, so probably I will just restart this session and we'll run it from start. So I will run it. Okay, it will launch the Ray cluster, and now we'll run it. So what it will do, it will create the backend. So you can see that it started server process. So it started, and now it's trying to pull all those model artifacts, and it will load it in the memory. And you can see that sklearn loan default endpoint has been registered. So registering route loan default to the endpoint this, and now my endpoint is ready to receive any messages from consumer. And here we will simply take input from my consumer and will hit this server URL where my serve instance would be running and my model endpoint has been deployed, right? So that's the server URL. So this is the location where we have deployed serve instance, right? And this is the endpoint which we have just configured. And here I'm just taking a JSON file which contains different messages. So I will just show you what it contains. So it's this file I'm talking about, the sample.json, which contains close to 11 record. And I have taken this sample from my test data, and we haven't tested or trained model based on this data. So this is purely new set of instructions, and we would be using those instructions for testing our ML API. So this will simply open that file, it will read it, and it will take individual records from my file, and it will populate the request layout with the help of request package, and as a part of that will pass the server URL and the JSON layout which we have extracted from my JSON file, right? And once we'll perform this operation, it will hit my ML API which has been deployed at this location, and it will return a response back. So this response would be returned after performing a prediction back to the consumer, and I'm simply taking that response, I'm printing it as a part of my result. So that's what this statement will do. So we'll simply run it, and now you can see that I'm getting a response back from my ML API. You can see the prediction is varying, you can see, and it will process all the 11 requests which we have added in my sample.json file, and it will write all the output here. So in this manner we can test our model API. We can also use Postman for testing a single request. So you can simply take one message. So I will simply take one message from this file. So I'm taking it like this, copying it, and now I'll paste it here. Okay. So once that is done, and here you need to specify the layout as JSON. Okay, and after populating the request layout, just click send, and it will return a response back in this manner. So 29.49 is the probability score for lone default. Okay, so in this manner we can perform test using either Postman API, or you can write some script to take data from your file and it will print it like this. Okay, so once that is done, we need to close that cluster using ray.shutdown. So I'm just clicking it, and that will close down your ray cluster. So in this manner you can deploy, we can create ML API and deploy it in the ray serve instance. We can create the backend and the endpoint with the help of ray serve API, and we can use the any script for sending multiple requests to my server or my serve instance ML API. Okay, so that's it for now. Thanks for watching it.